Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time there was a trader. He lived with his daughter Elizabeth in a small village in France. Elizabeth was beautiful, charming, and brave. Her mother had died while giving her birth. She loved his father very much. The trader owned a pair of graceful white horses, which he used to ride to different cities for business. One day, the trader rode on the horseback and left his home for a business trip, leaving Elizabeth home. He usually used to come home after 1 or 2 days, but it had been 10 days since he had not returned back home. Elizabeth got worried. She did not know where he was and what had happened to him and whether he was alive or dead. After waiting for so many days, she planned to search for him. She knew that on the way back home, his father had to pass through a dark forest. The villagers asked her not to go to the forest because the forest was not an ordinary place. It was called the Spooky Woods by the villagers, and they avoided it at all costs. The trees were tall and all twisty, with branches sticking out like bent fingers. The trader had to stay in another city for some reason which took him more time. On the way to home, when he was passing through the forest, a thick mist hung in the air, making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. He needed a place to sleep. Because he was tired, he started searching for a place to sleep. After some search, he came across an enchanted castle. He knocked on the door several times, but nobody answered. The trader was shivering with cold. He quietly went inside and found that the castle was empty. However, there was a table covered with dishes of food and a big warm and comfortable bed. After eating dinner, he curled up in the bed and went to sleep very soon. The next morning, the trader woke up feeling fresh, and still no one came into the castle. When he was looking here and there, he came across a vibrant rose bush in the garden. He thought that Elizabeth would love a rose as a gift when he goes back home. He reached the rose plant and plucked a red rose from a weirdly-looking bush. As soon as he plucked the rose, a violent and loud roaring sound came from the bush. Something swept the trader off his feet and tumbled him to the ground. A vicious beast jumped out of the bush. He towered over the trader and scowled down at him. A shiver ran down the trader's spine as fear crept into his every nerve. The beast had worn a long, red velvet cape around his furry neck. "You come into my home, and then you dare to steal my roses," he boomed. The trader was speechless. His face froze in horror. At the same time, a girl shouted, "Father!" It was a very familiar voice. When he looked back, it was Elizabeth. She had come looking for him when he had not returned home on time. She looked at his father and then the beast. She ran directly into the arms of his father and hugged him tightly. She then turned and looked at the beast. The beast looked at them both. "I will let you go. To pay for your crime, your daughter stays with me forever," he growled. The father begged the beast not to give them such a punishment. However, Elizabeth loved her father very much, and she promised to stay in the castle if his father was allowed to go free. The beast picked up Elizabeth's father in his paws and threw him out of the garden. Elizabeth's father was afraid, and he ran away to the village. At first, Elizabeth was terrified to stay in the castle. She was afraid of the beast's monstrous looks. However, Elizabeth soon learned that the beast's heart was kind. He treated her with great care, making sure she was fed and warm. He would keep her company while she was reading or exploring the castle. The Beast fell in love with Elizabeth and eventually asked if she would marry him. However, Elizabeth refused as she still missed her father and wanted to see him again. The Beast then showed her a small magic mirror. "Ask the mirror to let you see your father," he said. The mirror lit up, and when she looked in the mirror, it was Elizabeth's father. He was very ill and had laid on the bed. Crying in love and fear, Elizabeth requested the Beast to let her see her father as he was dying. The Beast agreed to let Elizabeth go because he wanted to see her happy. Elizabeth left for weeks to nurse her father by taking care of his health, and she was very happy at home. One night, she had a terrible nightmare in which she saw that the Beast was ill. He was dying in his bed. Elizabeth was afraid for him. As soon as she woke up in the next morning, she ran straight back to the castle. She saw the Beast lying in the same bed she had seen in her dream. She cried out, "Please, do not leave me. I love you." Then, all of a sudden, the Beast transformed into a handsome young prince. He stood up and turned to face Elizabeth. "I was once a prince, and my name was James. I was under this terrible curse that only true love could break it. You have saved me because you truly loved me for who I am. You did not see the Beast in me, but you saw my heart." Elizabeth was both shocked and happy to see him as a prince. Days passed and they soon became great friends. One day, Prince James and Elizabeth decided to explore the enchanted forest together. They walked through the thick trees, hearing the rustle of leaves and the chirping of birds. As they ventured deeper, the forest seemed to come alive with magic. Suddenly, they stumbled upon a hidden path that led to a secret cave. Curiosity sparkled in their eyes as they entered the dark cavern. Inside, they discovered an ancient map that hinted at a hidden treasure deep within the heart of the forest. Excitement bubbled within them, and they decided to go on a daring adventure to find the treasure. The map led them through winding paths, across bubbling streams, and beneath the shadows of towering trees. On the way, they encountered tricky puzzles and clever challenges that tested their courage and teamwork. As they traveled, the forest revealed its secrets: magical creatures, sparkling waterfalls, and hidden meadows. Yet, the closer they got to the treasure, the more suspenseful their quest became. In a clearing bathed in golden sunlight, they finally found the treasure chest. Its ornate design hinted at ancient times, and as they opened it, a radiant light filled the air. But, instead of gold and jewels, the chest held a magical key. The key led them to a hidden door within their own castle. As they unlocked the door, they discovered a magical chamber that held the key to a forgotten realm. The forest around their castle was a portal to a world filled with wonders and mysteries. From that day forward, Prince James and Elizabeth became the guardians of the enchanted forest and the keepers of its secrets. Adventures awaited them at every turn. The castle in the forest became a haven for those seeking the magic that bound their lives together in an eternal tale of friendship, courage, and the wonders of the enchanted woods.